welcome back to FemBot IT. My name is Julie, and today we're going to do a real quick dive into Identity Federation. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and let's get into it. So what is Identity Federation, and when would you use it? Identity Federation is a bridge between two different security domains, and a great example of when you would use it is in IAM, when you need to grant access to a large group of users. In the next couple of PowerPoint slides, you're going to see STS. IAM STS is Security Token Service. And STS grants trusted users access to your AWS resources. The first PowerPoint slide that we have for Identity Federation is Assume Role, and this is a pretty simple one. So what happens is the user logs into the AWS console using IAM into one account. It assumes a role that is granted to it in IAM in that account into another account. So it gets the EC2 role it needs, it gets this temporary credentials, and that is sent back to the user, and then the user is able to use the temporary security credentials to log into the FemBot IT, the separate account EC2 instance where we host our WordPress site, FemBot IT. So it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward, but it's great to know on the exam. You are going to see questions about these on the exam. The second type that we're talking about is a little bit more familiar probably for you, but it's got a few more steps. So if you've ever logged into another, to a service or to an app using your Amazon, your Google, or your Facebook account, then you have used this type of Identity Federation before. And Amazon, Google, and Facebook are external identity providers or IDPs. So what happens is the user logs into Amazon, Google, Facebook, whatever, and receives an ID token back. So they use this ID token to get over into the other account, and they assume the EC2 role with the temporary credentials. That's sent back to the user, and then the user uses those temporary credentials to log into the EC2 web instance and to update the WordPress site, FemBot IT. So one thing to note about Web Identity Federation is you cannot use this to log into the console. This is command line only. And for mobile applications, AWS prefers it use Cognito because they provide more mobile specifics to help the flows flow easier. And also, I'm going to put a link below in the description. AWS has a great tool. It's called AWS Web Identity Playground, and it will help you prepare for your exam so much. You actually get to see it in action, and it's a lot of fun. The last slide we want to talk about is Assume Role with SAML. And so this is using Active Directory, which you've probably done in your work environment. So what happens first is the user authenticates to Active Directory or ADF server. The user is then sent to an AWS single sign-on. The user assumes the EC2 role and the temporary credentials are generated and sent back. And then I don't know if you've ever heard of a SAML assertion, but this step. It's a URL that's generated and it's returned back to the user. And then the user is automatically redirected to the console. And then from the console, they can go in and access the EC2 instance or the RDS instance, whatever they need to do in there. And one thing about Assume Role with SAML is you can also use it for the command line. So remember the Assume Role with Web Identity, you cannot use it to log into the command line. It was console only, but this one is both. And it's a similar setup. You assume your role with SAML, you get your temporary security credentials. Those are sent back to the user, and then the user is able to use the command line to get into the EC2 instance or RDS, etc. So one thing that you should know about temporary security credentials, STSs, they're short term. So once they're expired, they can't be reused. And the expiration, it changes. I think right now it's 15 minutes to 36 hours. So you can set that expiration for however you want the user to have access to your resources. Then you're using your STS on the command line. It's using a session token, an access key ID, a secret access key, and an expiration timestamp. And that's it. Those are the 3 steps in Identity Federation that I wanted to cover. Again, you will see these on the exam. I had probably 3 questions on my Certified Solutions Architect Associates exam, and I probably had four to six on the Certified Solutions Professional exam. And the professional exam will go into a lot of detail with the different identity federations. So, and also remember to check out AWS Web Identity Playground. It is a great tool. It's great practice, and it really will help you prepare for your exam. So that's it. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you for coming by, and I'll see you next time.